My name is Madeline Barrasso, and I am the program and grants manager for Iceboard the Girls. I go by she, her pronouns as well.
Amazing, thank you.
What do your slash kits include, and why do you think these things are important for trans people to have access?
What do our slash kits include? So our slash kits, we like to include a set of staple items, and then we also have certain items that are pending availability based off of what we get as donations from either individuals or from like corporate donors. So in our slash kits that are like permanent included, we have leak-proof underwear. And so that's anywhere from like bikini size, hipster, boy short, that are typically used for folks that are menstruating, binders. And so we do have half binders and full chest binders available, non-leak-proof underwear. And we have a variety of different cuts and gender-affirming cuts. So anyone that would come to us with, oh, I'd really love this cut, 9 times out of 10 we have it. And if not, we are able to just get it very quickly, usually that day, or run off to the store if we don't have it. We also provide for folks that say that they are menstruating and they need product. We offer a 3-month supply of those products of their choice. So whether that they exclusively like to use tampons, they like to use pads, panty liners, or that period underwear that we discussed earlier, we really like to tailor it to the individual.
My question is, what can we do as trans youth to break the stigma around menstruation?
Yes, that is a great question. Oh my gosh. So, like any discussion about stigma, our solution or our suggestion, I won't say solution, but talk about it from an early age. I think there's a lot of cultural stigma around it, around menstruation still, even though it's 2022. Didn't think that would still be happening, but here we are. And so like anything that we're trying to break that taboo thought of, talk about it from an early age, ask questions, and get our information from evidence-based reading, not from Dr. Facebook or Dr. Google, because we know that those things don't always have the right answers. And sometimes that information can be severely damaging, especially when they use harmful language that maybe they don't mean to use, but they use. And so trying to get that misinformation out, trying to take away the misinformation and replace it with actual information, whether that's something that you read on a scholarly website, whether that's something you read in an academic study, or whether that's something that you personally lived through, because that is your truth and that's your normal. And so being able to share from an early age, like, hey, this is what happened to me, this is what's happening to me, I don't know what this means. I'm sure if you said that in a room of 50 people, 30 people would raise their hand like, yeah, I also don't know what's happening. Like, yes, let's get in a circle and talk about this. So like I said before, education is a huge aspect of this, to help break stigma, encouraging our schools, not just waiting until high school, because unfortunately for me, I'm in my 20s, but I still had to wait until I was 16 to have my first sex ed class. So that meant that I had 16 years of my life without this information, except for learning it from my parents or from my place of worship, which can be really damaging. And especially if, depending on where you live here in this country, that may be the only lesson that you get. And so that can be extremely damaging.
You mentioned a lot of like really interesting points, especially regarding the general inclusivity needed more like about menstruation and like period talk. And also like earlier on, you mentioned in the conversation that your slash kits provide a lot of like different period products, whether that be tampons, pads, period underwear, etc. So like as like a menstruator myself, I'm curious how you are appealing to menstruators of all genders and how you're keeping these kits gender inclusive.
So right now with the slash kit, so even creating the slash kit, we are coming at this from a group of cis women. So we knew that we couldn't just create this slash kit on our own and say, ta-da, here it is. Like, we did it, and stick a flag on it. Like, no, that's harmful in so many ways. So while we were creating the slash kit, we have a lot of like volunteers, and we have a lot of friends within our community that are they either are themselves identify within the LGBTQ space, or they have children, they have siblings, they have family members. And so we pulled in a couple of focus groups and just said, like, what is the best way to go about this language properly? What is the best way to have images around this? Should we be taking pictures of these products? Should we not be taking pictures of the product? Like, what does this mean? What should we be including? Should we be including like stickers and flags, and like, what does this mean for us? And a lot of the responses that we got back really showed us, like, keep it simple, keep it honest, and keep it language inclusive. And so we tried to do the best that we can.
My question is, what is the message you're trying to send to the trans youth or the non-binary youth with the slash kits?
I joined Iceboard the Girls in 2020 when COVID first started. They said we need someone to help us build out this program. I previously have experience working with a lot of different populations. Not that I'm like a subject matter expert in any of these things, because I'm not from the trans or non-binary community, so I can't speak to that experience. However, I'm an ally. I have a lot of friends in this population, and I do my own work, my own volunteering in this population. So what I can do best is uplift those stories or bring those people into this space and give them a platform to share knowledge, to share advice. And so what we were able to do as an organization is somewhat similar in that through our connections made with our volunteers, they come from such diverse walks of life that, again, like, we're a group of cis women, like, that's who we are. Or in Iceboard the Girls, like, our main staff, like, this is not a lived experience that we've lived, so we cannot speak about this on behalf and tell you what to do. So instead, we sit back, we invite those who are living in this space to step in and educate us, and to, like, we give our platform to them so that they can discuss this in their own way, and that will be the most impactful among youth in this community, because it's not our place to say. However, we do have the privilege of this platform where we can invite people in. And on our Iceboard the Girls website, if you go through our programs, there will be a specific link for our slash kit, or an individual can just type in Google, like, Iceboard the Girls slash kit, and a link will pop up, and it's essentially like a Google form where there's a certain list of questions that we have that are required. Like, we need an address. It does not have to be your address, it just has to be a safe address. If you're under the age of 18 and you're asking for like compression or binders, we typically ask that a supportive adult requests on your behalf, just for our own safety.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and for being